Hi, welcome back to Good Life with Gan. Today I'll be sharing with you another recipe from my Korean cooking made vegan cookbook. This is fish cake soup, a really popular Korean street food. I've never seen any vegan version, but here is my vegan take on this recipe. Let's get started. First of all, let's prepare a dashi stock. So to give it that sweetness, we're using radish. We'll be using the skin as well, so just make sure you wash it really clean. This is optional, but I figure it looks better for presentation, so you can use a cookie cutter to cut the radish into flower shapes. We'll be using the scrapes as well, so do not discard them. Just put everything into a pot, add the water. So the traditional dashi stock usually use dry anchovy, but here we're using dry shiitake mushroom as well as kombu to give it that fishy umami flavor. And I'll use a cheesecloth to wrap my radish up. So these are for serving. So it's easier to separate them from the broth later on. But this is completely optional. You can just eat everything. So just cover, bring it to boil, and let it simmer for 40 minutes. Leave the lid slightly when it started boiling. For the fish cake, I'm using king oyster mushroom. I'll just slice them thinly. King oyster mushroom has a really meaty texture and that fishy umami flavor. And I'm also going to use vegetarian tau pao or soy chips. We're going to unfold it to make it bigger and thinner, which resemble the fish cake appearance even more. You can use any mock vegetarian fish cake out there that you can find in the market. There are actually plenty of options. But if you're not a big fan of mock meat or you just simply couldn't access to vegetarian mock meat, then try these two ingredients. They're really delicious. They don't taste exactly like fish cake, but they made a really good alternative to fish cakes. Now we're going to fry our king oyster mushroom until they are golden brown on both sides. You can sprinkle a pinch of salt and black pepper over them, but they're also really delicious plain. And you want to cover and cook over it so that the mushroom remains juicy. So you can see that the juice is coming out from the mushroom, right? So that's how this trick is going to help. So set them aside to cool down. And you want to continue to pan fry your bean curd as well, your tau pao, until both sides are golden brown. You want to make sure you use a non-stick pan because these tau pao tend to stick to the pan. So fish cakes are usually processed food and are also deep fried. That's why this vegan version is a lot healthier compared to non-vegan version because we're only pan frying them and we're using natural ingredient as much as possible. Okay, our broth is done now. You can see the broth is in this really nice brown color. It means that all the umami from our ingredients has been infused into this broth. The scraps from this broth is edible. You can just serve them aside. But when we serve the fish cake soup, we want to make sure that the soup is clear, so that's why I strain them. Lastly, season it with salt and vegan fish sauce, and the broth is ready. You can find this vegan fish sauce recipe in my cookbook as well. Now we're going to put our fish cake into our skewer. Did I pronounce it correctly, skewer? Yeah. If the bean curd is too big, just slice them into half. And then you want to skew them in a zigzag pattern so that they will be secure on a skewer. It's really fun to do actually. And you just continue until you have finished all the fish cake that you prepared earlier. Now unwrap the cheesecloth where we wrap our flower shaped radish slices so they're all translucent. Now means they're all well cooked. Assemble our fish cake soup feast. Into the fish cake soup we're going to add our fish cake skewers and then you want to bring them to boil. Meanwhile, you can prepare the dipping sauce. Just prepare some fresh chopped chili, spring onion, minced garlic, soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, toasted sesame seeds, toasted sesame oil, chili flakes. Give them a stir. You can add a little bit of the fish cake soup to water it down so it's easier for dipping. Okay, the soup started boiling already. We can serve it now. Yay, 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 yay. It smells so good. This reminds me of the very first time when I had my very first Korean fish cake soup in a bus station. They actually serve it in a paper cup, so the weather was so cold, I was sipping the soup straight from the cup. It was one of the most memorable experience in Korea. And this was also one of the dish that I told myself that I must veganize it. It really resembled the taste a lot, and I hope that you will enjoy this recipe. You'll find this recipe in my Korean Cooking Made Vegan Cookbook Volume 2. The link is in the description box, so go check that out. You'll find 23 Korean recipe all made vegan with plant-based ingredients and simple steps. With this cookbook, you can definitely make all this vegan Korean recipe at ease at home and to conquer your Korean Upa Oni taste bud. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Hope to see you again very soon. Bye bye!